Hi, this is Josh,
Hi, this is Heejung.
and we are giving a short review of the film Life of Pi. Yeah, and so this movie, the narrative and the style that it's told in, it's a fantasy, but it's a low fantasy set in the real world, just with some fantastical elements to it.
And also, this is author who is Canadian. Tried to hear a story from Pi.
Yeah, so the author is meeting with Pi when he's an older guy, and we hear the story told, and there's scenes of them talking and also scenes of the story, so we're right there with Pi as he's on his big adventure.
Yeah.
So moving on to the theological themes of this film, and there was quite a few, there's a lot of God stuff going on, being talked about. One of the main themes that the film talks about is the idea of God being real.
Yes.
Pi is convinced that God is real, and he often tries talking to God and finding God in different religions. And he's always his awareness of God is always part of who he is and part of the story he tells.
Yeah, and also through his life, we can see something like calling or purpose. How he lived through his calling and purpose. God made his purpose in his life.
Yeah,
Which is so important.
Exactly. He was lost out at sea, and it looks like there was no hope, but kind of miraculously he survived, and it was like it fitted into a bigger purpose, a bigger plan that God had for his life.
Yeah.
And the final theme, theologically, that came through is pretty strong, was the idea of relationship and how important it is.
Relationship is really, really important as we live this life together, like without any relationship, without any relate with people or nature or animals, like we are living in. And also this film, Pi was living related to animals and plants and like nature, the really real nature. Just kind of it talks about like relationship.
Yeah, especially as I said with the animals, because at the very end, when he's survived, he's come through his ordeal. He says he wouldn't have been able to do it if it hadn't have been for Richard Parker, the tiger. He says, it was having that relationship with him, having to take care of him, was what gave him the purpose and the motivation to keep going. If he'd been alone, he couldn't have survived. It was because of the other person, the other animal, that he had to take care of, and he had, in a sense, looking after him as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So